What's up guys, how's it going and welcome back. This is a brand new series and what we're going to do, we're going to talk about, as you've probably seen by the title, top 5. Now this is going to be my top 5 most undervalued Pokemon out there. So there's going to be loads of different criteria for them. A lot of them tend to revolve around evolution and stuff like that. But what we're going to have is going to have 5 Pokemon who I think were really hard done by in their gens. So hope you enjoy and let's crack on with the show. Okay guys, so first off, out of 5, we have got Hound Doom. Now this is Fire Dark type Gen 2 Pokemon. And what I thought would be a really good Pokemon. But the problem was where you could find it. The biggest issue with this Pokemon was it's a Gen 2 Pokemon and it's in the Gen 2 game, but not in the second generation region. So as you can see, because we've got a little map up, you cannot get this until post-game after you've beaten the Elite Four, and you get it in the Kanto region, not the Johto region. Why they did this, I do not know, because in the Johto region you can get a Growlithe, which is a Gen 1 Pokemon in the Gen 2 area, but you can't get the Hound Doom, Hound Doom in the Gen 2 area. You've got to wait to get it into after you beat the Elite Four and pick up in the Gen 1 area, which makes no sense. And that's why I think this Pokemon, which would have changed a lot for me, because I think if this was available, I would actually pick Chikorita as my starter. If this could have been done a lot better and been used a lot more enjoyably if it was put in the Gen 2 area, because you could put it as one of the nighttime Pokemon. It's a dark fire type. You could pick up Hoo-Hoo during the nighttime in most areas in the Gen 2 area. Why couldn't they have done the same with this one? Give it a different area, put it in a new spot. Would have been fantastic for this Pokemon. I think it was really hard done by, and that's why this is on the list. Okay guys, now for our second lot of Pokemon. Now, this is actually 2 Pokemon, because this is a Scavenger and a Silver. Now these Pokemon evolve from Carablast and Shelmet, but they only evolve when you trade them with one another. So you can't just evolve a Skelgor or evolve a Scavalier, i.e. Carablast and Shelmet, because you can only evolve them by trading one with the other through. So it's impossible to do it by yourself. It's impossible to evolve these Pokemon unless you have 2 consoles. That's how ridiculous this is. So that you have 2 consoles, or hopefully you've got a friend with the same Pokemon game as you, so you can trade from one to the other. It's the only other way to do it. This basically becomes an impossible evolution if you don't meet those criteria. So if you're doing something like a Nuzlocke or something like that, and you haven't made it so evolutions are easier, this Pokemon cannot be got. It's ridiculous. I do not know what they were thinking. Anyway, that's our second one. Okay guys, now for number 3, Moraine. Gen 7 Pokemon, and I adore this Pokemon. I think it's a really good poison type. In fact, it's probably one of my favourite poison types when it evolves into Toxapex. It has such an amazing moveset and move pool. However, in Gen 7, getting hold of this Pokemon is a nightmare. It's only available with SOS calls with Corsola, which is a Pokemon you can only find by fishing, and Corsola only has a 1% encounter rate. 1%. You can be sat there fishing for days and not come across this Pokemon. I've only ever managed to pull it off once in a Gen 7 game, and I don't want to tell you how long it took me to get this. I was fishing for days and finally found a Corsola. I then had to wait even longer for it to call a Moraine with his SOS alerts, his SOS calls. And it's not 100% 100% chance of getting a Moraine with the SOS. The SOS could fail, or it could end up calling another Corsola, which it did more times than it called a Moraine. Which means a Moraine actually has less than 1% chance of appearing in the generation it was created. It's a Gen 7 Pokemon that has a less than 1% chance of turning up. It was just infuriating. I do not know what they were thinking with this at all. It was just madness. Absolute madness. So yeah, so my Pokemon choice number 3 is Moraine. What's up guys, how's it going? And this is number 4, Duskform Lycanroc. Now this evolution is terribly annoying. And it's another Gen 7 Pokemon. Seem to be following that little phase right now. Gen 7 Pokemon. Absolutely ridiculous. And I'll explain why. Because there's a lot of Pokemon out there which have time-specific evolutions. And Duskform Lycanroc is one of 3. You've got Duskform Lycanroc, you've got Midday Form, you've got Midnight Form. They're the 3 forms you can evolve a Lycanroc. But not all Lycanrocs. You see, to get a Duskform Lycanroc, you need a Rockruff with the hidden ability on Tempo. Now, most people wouldn't see that as too much problem. You just have to catch a load of Rockruffs to be able to get the one with the hidden ability. Which what I originally thought as well. I thought, oh, I'll just catch loads, wait for fun. I went through so many Pokeballs before I realised that the hidden ability of Rockruff is a special event Rockruff, which is now no longer available. That's it, it's done. The event is over. You cannot get an on-tempo Rockruff anymore. Which means the Duskform Lycanroc, to get it in Gen 7, unless you trade from someone else who's got one or they send you over an egg, it's impossible to get. You cannot get a hidden ability Rockruff. So the Duskform Lycanroc, which was brought in Gen 7 for the Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, is now impossible to get your hands on. It is non-existent now, which is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Why they did this, God only knows. They should have just made it so, with the fact that it came out with Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, they should have made it so it was just available. It was just a rare Rockruff to find. Not make it absolutely impossible. That's just ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. But there you go. There's last one now, guys. And it's going to be a weird one because it's not that bad anymore. But I'm doing this for when they first came out. And the Pokemon this is Loptic. Now, to get a Loptic, you needed to evolve a Feebas. Now, in the recent generations, Gen 6, maybe 5, not 100% sure on this one, but I'm pretty sure it's Gen 6, you can evolve Feebas by trading it with a Prism Scale. Now, that's not a problem, that's quite easily done. As long as you've got someone you can trade with, not a problem. The issue comes when it first came out in Gen 3. Now, to evolve this Pokemon from a Feebas to a Milotic back in Gen 3, 4 and 5, I think, was to raise its beauty stat. Now, a Pokemon's beauty stat's raised by feeding it either Puffins or Pokeblocks, depending on what generation you're using. But it has to be ones that raise its beauty. Now, you can have all sorts of different ones, but it has to be the ones that raises its beauty stats. Now, beauty stats are one of the 5 contest stats used for the contest side of the Pokemon games. Most people just ignore it, complete the story, beat the league, job done. Not many people, I think, deal with the actual beauty contests and the contest challenges. So it kind of gets overlooked. But for this, it's actually required for you to evolve this Pokemon to its next stage. And that one doesn't sound like too much of a hassle, but it actually kind of is. Because you have to get the right berries, you have to find out where they're going to appear, you need them to grow, and you need to pick the berries, and then use those berries to create the correct Pokeblocks or Puffins, whichever one you want to use. And in case anyone's wondering, it's the dry one, and it's the blue Puffins you need to use. But to get this to work, you need a fair amount, because you need to max its beauty stat out, which it's a lot of Puffins, it's a lot of grinding, a lot of things to do just for my Loptic, which is an okay Pokemon in all fairness. But it was just this process of evolving it and get it to that stage that is just irritating more than anything else. I'm sure it was literally put there by the game developers just to troll us. Literally, it was just there as a troll. But it was hard done to. I mean, granted, it got easier, and they kind of fixed it in the later generations. Like I said, in Gen 6 and everything like that, you just need to trade it with the Prism Scale. Makes it a lot simpler. And in the latest Gen 8, you can now find it out in the wild. So you can just catch it, and you don't even have to worry about evolving it from the Feebas anymore. So it looks like they've actually done something useful and actually helped repair a lot of the lost love with this Pokemon. But anyway, that is all the Pokemon I was going to go for. That is everything touched on. That is my 5 most mistreated Pokemon in all the generations. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show, and I'll see you in my next load of videos. Bye.